gon' play me, just know that I'm not one of them. Feel like I don't know you, don't come around, no invaders, them. Take your best shot at me, better go above the rim. Pick you up, throw you back down like I do in the gym.
It's your boy Noto, coming to you with another video, coming to you with another podcast, man. And in today's podcast, we're going to discuss dealing with higher-ups at work as a handsome select man. If you're new here or you already been here, go ahead and click that like button, go ahead and comment, go ahead and subscribe, click that notification bell so you can be notified whenever I drop a video. And without further ado, let's go on and get into this topic, man. Let's go on and get into this topic. So, you consider the handsome select man, you going to work, or you're being at work, and you honestly just notice different types of behavior from the higher ups. Now, the thing is, you gonna deal with either like two different types of higher ups, man. You gonna deal with the ones that's gonna be cool with you, or you gonna deal with the ones that ain't gonna like you at all. But they be like, no, how's that different? Everybody deals with that. Yeah, it's different. But the big difference with us handsome select men, is that the jealousy that comes. I'm gonna talk about that part. We're gonna talk about the jealousy part, cause I remember this one time I had like a supervisor, like it was a dude was just like real like jealous, and like I kind of noticed that from the start. From the start, they'll do little slick stuff, and they'll act like they was cool with you at first. But it was this type of dude. Yeah, he was cool at first, but then it seemed like every time a woman would come around, every time a woman came around, he would act different. He was always acting like trying to play it cool, and then it seemed like every time he'll see a woman walking around me or something like that, he'll give me like this little smug look every time. Because at this point in time when I was working, it was the females, they could walk around the plant or whatever, and usually they'll always walk past my machine or whatever, so they can, I guess they could be seen by me or whatever, because it's so many different ways they could have took to get to where they was going, to the front or wherever it was going. But they always seem to make their way right by my machine so I can see them, or so they can come and speak to me as they walk by or something like that. Some of them would go out their way to come over there. And he was starting to notice that. Every time I would even just have like a simple conversation, he'll just be sitting there watching. And he'll be kind of like on some like jealous stuff. And I didn't really pick up on it at first because I was like, okay, I was just chilling, whatever. But then I just noticed, like, he used to clap me up, right? But now I used to walk up. He wouldn't give me no dap, no nothing. He wouldn't even speak. I spoke to him. I said, "What's up?" So a little nod or whatever. He just walked past like he didn't even know me, like he wasn't cool with me. And I was like, "Damn!" So it's like that over a woman that ain't even yours. They'll do that, guys. They'll do that. The higher ups, they'll definitely do that. Somebody that's over you. Oh yeah, that I've definitely experienced that. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys have probably experienced something like that too, hating over the women at the job. Especially if they, them slick supervisors that be trying to get the women on the sly, But they know who to watch out for. That's the thing. They know who to watch out for. Now, on the other hand, you got your cool supervisor dudes. I'm gonna talk about the dudes, and then I'm gonna talk about the women now. So you got your cool supervisor dudes, the ones that'll be like, "Oh man, I see what you got going on." These are the ones that might that look out for you and stuff like that. These are the ones that actually admire what you can do with women, and actually might want you to help them with the women. I've had supervisors come and ask me, "Dang, what you do to have women picking you up like that?" Because he noticed that I had women picking me up in big trucks and all kind of shit like that. So he was like, "Damn, what you do to have women pick you up like that and all that?" I said, "I'm just being me," and it really is just being me. But it's like when they see stuff like that go down for a handsome select man, they'll be like, damn, they know what it is, but they don't know what it is because they haven't really experienced that yet. So that's the thing. A lot of you guys got to understand that's considered handsome select. A lot of the average Joe guys ain't gonna really understand how you do the things that you do, and it's gonna be like asinine to them. I mean, it's gonna be different to them. It's gonna be like undiscovered land type shit with them. So they can't really fathom how it is. And a lot of them, either they'll admire it or they're going to be very jealous of it. And I had one that was very they will be admirable. Some of them might want to hang with you and everything. You could be just a crew member and you got the supervisor, damn near plant manager want to hang with you. Just off the strength of that. So dealing with higher ups at work, that could be a definite pro. That could be a definite pro. They'll look out for you on the clock and everything. Like I done had some real cool dude supervisors like that. I had like two of them. Yeah, it was two of them. Like that's cool with me. One that talk about me like he see I mean he don't know about the body game, but he know that I work out and we talk about fitness stuff a lot too. So yeah, it's like that. So they'll be cool with you on that tip. And they was noticing, they were like, oh yeah, you notice that the girls looking at you because you got your, because sometimes I walk out of work with my tank top on, they'll be like, yeah, I see what you got going on, do your thing. You know, some of them will be cool about that shit. Some of them will be straight. But some of them will hate on that shit. So I'm gonna tell you that straight up. Some of them gonna hate on that shit. So that's a main thing that you're gonna have to work out. It's a main thing a lot of y'all gonna have to watch out for is that they will definitely be the types that will look out for you, and they'll be the types that just gonna hate on your ass straight up. Now when it comes to the women, now that's a good thing, as I remember one time I had like an interview one time. Yeah, the interview when I was just getting there, and you could tell like how they go treat you too. She was like, she asked some questions like in the interview. She was like, is there anything that I can do to motivate you? But the way that she looked at me when she said it was like, oh, okay, I see what type of time she going. Like, you can tell the ones that be on some other shit, dog. You can tell, bro. You can tell the ones that be on some other shit, bro. See, these type of higher ups, bro. These the ones that, yeah, they on that type of time. But you just gonna have to approach them a certain type of way. It's a different way you got to go about this, guys. You can't just go blatantly. There's you got to understand. A lot of these women, their positions are on the line. And a lot of it, like a lot of companies look at fraternization is mostly frowned upon. And a lot of times, you know, depending on their social circle, you know, it's not acceptable in their social. So y'all got to understand that too, especially if you like in a lower position at work and you're definitely a lower position at work. But some lower positions at work don't really make you out of their range. You know what I mean? So you could be like, they could be like a doctor and they'll talk to a nurse or something like that. I'm not talking about like that. I'm talking about like a nurse talking to like a janitor or something like that. You're talking about a doctor talking to a janitor, something like something like what I've been through. So like, it'll be like that. But my thing is, y'all gotta understand that that's a different way you got to go about it. So that's something that you gonna experience as a hand select man. You're gonna be have your pickings of the higher ups, and you're gonna be able to get the signs from them too. You're gonna be able to get the signs from them too. You just gotta be able to tell and be able to discern how they do their thing, because they always gonna give you the signs, but it's never gonna be like too direct. And they gotta see how you act around everybody too. So they gotta assess that, and they gotta understand, they gotta see how, okay, if they willing to really risk that. But most of them really are. Most of them are, because they can't, you know what I'm saying? They go through a lot of stuff. They gonna figure out how they can deal with you in the midst of doing that. Because I'd noticed a lot of women that you think that wouldn't put their job on the line, and them messing with some dude at work don't seem like it's putting their job on the line like that, but it really is. Because fraternization can get them fired, or some type of disciplinary actions. It could, depending on what happens and how it goes down and who gets wind of it, and if they try to make a big problem out of it. But the thing about that is, guys, it's just really just being around. So when you being around and they assess how you are, and then see like, okay, maybe you're not running your mouth too much, maybe they like how you move or whatever, and they'll probably make like how they do it, they make little slick advances at you. They'll see what they can get away with you, and as time go on, it'll level up. That's the thing I've noticed when I've ever dealt with a higher up as a hand select man in a working environment. So I don't know if anybody else does it differently, but the ways that always like happen, because this happened on multiple occasions, but I noticed one common denominator is that whenever you doing it, it always like gradually builds. You gradually build that. And it's almost like, okay, yeah, the process is damn near the same. Okay, they want to see how you are. They'll talk to you about little stuff, and they'll slowly bring out more and more personal stuff. And as time go on, they'll make little slick sexual jokes and stuff like that to see how you react to them, or whatever. And see, just to gauge where your head at. That's why a lot of them will do it. You don't know. That's one common denominator I've noticed by dealing with women and higher ups at the job. And I know this is stretching out a bit long, but guys, I want you to understand how this works. Because a lot of handsome select men can be messing this up by doing the wrong thing when they get these signs. You could have been messing. You could have been having your pickings of the higher ups at work, but you'll end up messing up your chances because you come off as a blabbermouth. You come off as doing every little thing. If she see you talking about every little thing that you do, she might not ain't gonna mess with you. She ain't gonna chance it because she know that it could get out. And a lot of these women that are in a higher up position, especially like at hospitals or like a plant, they spend a lot of time there. So the last thing they want is some type of scandal and her name going around the plant, the building, or whatever, the facility, about her dealing with some dude. You gotta understand, it's more than just her job on the line. It's her reputation, all that. So you gotta understand, that's why they give you that. It's like a screening process for a lot of dudes. So I really wanted to get into that because a lot of dudes messed that up, and I almost messed it up a couple of times too until I got right, and I was like, okay, yeah, I see. When I act this way, things happen better for me. When I'm more like to myself, when I'm more not doing the most, running my mouth, and just chilling and actually sitting back and catching the signs and acting accordingly, things were way better because they already gonna be choosing on you anyway, and they already know the ability. Because you gotta understand, as a higher up, when they walking around, they can observe the plant and observe how other people are reacting to you, and of course they can look at you and make a pretty much a good assessment slash observation on and gauge your attraction level, whatever. And if it's most likely if you're a handsome select man, your attraction is most likely universal. So they know if you're able to attract multiple women. It just is what it is. They can see that, they can gauge that. Now a lot of people could be like, oh yeah, attraction is subjective, but there are those that handsome. If you consider handsome select, most likely if you're gonna be considered handsome select to a whole bunch of women across a whole bunch of fronts. It is what it is, and women can tell that right away. They can definitely tell that right away, because you know what? Because as soon as you walk in the door, they can be like, oh, he gonna be a problem. Oh, they gonna be all over him. You can tell that. Why you think when women, they'll look at you and you come in a job and they'll be like, they automatically be plotting. I'm gonna tell you right now, they automatically be plotting. You work at a facility with a whole bunch of women, they automatically be plotting. And the higher ups, they have what I would call them is, I wouldn't call them like teachers' pets or nothing like that, but they have these I'll call them trusted subordinates. That's what I'm gonna call them, trusted subordinates, because that's one way they can keep their ear to the streets in the facility. That's one way they can keep their ear to the streets, because if they can't really divvy out, sometimes they'll do it through their trusted subordinates and have them ask you questions and have them assessing you, and you'll think the whole time that they coming after you, but they really making an assessment. They making an assessment for the boss lady. Yeah, there's like a click like that. I don't know if a lot of guys have noticed that, but you notice out of the boss lady, and they'll end up having like some of their subordinates, and they'll talk to them. They have a couple of favorites that they talk to, and if you notice, a lot of them are gravitating towards you and asking you stuff or whatever, and you end up speaking to them while they're around the boss, and it seems like your boss, the boss lady, end up knowing stuff about you and that you didn't think that she knew. And she end up coming around and she start finding out stuff. You'll know that, guys. I don't really know how to explain that like that. I just know that they have their favorite subordinates, and they will use them to watch the scene for them. That's how they keep their ear to the streets for drama, all that other stuff too. So they'll use them to assess how you are. So when you think that she ain't around, she around. You see what I mean? So that's another thing. That's why y'all gotta be. That's why I said it's good to be silent, good to be quiet, and actually view your surroundings. And that's how you're gonna end up getting these higher ups, guys. You cannot be no outward too much flamboyant, too much enthusiastic person like that. You can be, but it gotta be some type of, it gotta be a cutoff point to that. They gotta understand. They gotta feel that you can be discreet in some type of way, or form, or fashion, or it just ain't gonna mess with you. That's just simple. That's just simple. Simple as that. You gotta show them that you can be discreet. You gotta show them that you can keep your mouth shut. That's the main thing with that, guys. And moving forward with the women, you're gonna have your Karens dealing with the higher up. You're gonna have your Karens in the workplace. But it could be different when it comes to handsome select man. It could definitely be different. Cause even though, like, I've had some experiences where the Karen would act like a Karen, but to it's almost like they throw their whole Karen characteristics out the door for you. They will definitely throw that. They will throw that out the door. And I'm a prime example of that. They definitely will throw that Karen mess out the door. Now they'll act like that at first when they don't know you and all that, and they feel like. But once they see, the thing with Karens is, once they figure that you cool, cause they gonna give you hell at first. That's one thing I've noticed about the Karens, and that's what I noticed at the hospital. They gonna give you hell at first. They gonna act like, oh no, you're a blood and all that. Especially if you in a lower position, and you know they're considered a higher up to you. Yeah, they definitely gonna give you hell at first. But when they get to know you, and they feel like, as soon as they feel comfortable around you, bro, the Karen is not a Karen anymore. I'm gonna tell you that now. Now they might have Karen ways. You gonna have some Karens that's gonna be like, oh yeah, like that. But I've turned some Karens, some bad Karens, seriously. Some that you would consider that you would be like, I don't see how you could ever deal with this. Oh yeah, trust and believe me, guys. Handsome select men, if she and they end up seeing how the other women treat you and all that too. It's gonna be some women that just flat out haters, and they ain't gonna never just. But bro, you have the power to change Karens. I'm gonna tell you that now. 'Cause I changed a couple Karens that treated me bad at first. Man, you wouldn't believe it. You'll think that I'm talking about, they have give me greetings, bringing me little snacks and stuff to work and all that kind of stuff. Like, you know, the little stuff that they'll bring little refreshments. They'll bring you personal refreshments. I'd had them bring me personal refreshments. Oh yeah. All kind of stuff, like the same ones that used to didn't want me in their break room, they didn't want me around, none of that. So you will have the power to change Karens in the workplace that are considered higher ups. Yeah, because they were considered higher ups to me because I was a janitor and they were nurses. You see what I mean? You see how big that gap is? There's a lot of positions between those two positions. We're pretty much at the bottom of the totem pole. When you look at the structure, when you look at the hierarchy, if you put it like that, whatever you want to put it at. When you look at the levels to the whole thing, we're at the bottom, and they're like a couple steps from the top, the nurses. So that's that right there. Like, those Karens, sometimes they could be the ones that can call HR, but like, I don't want them in here. EVS is the janitor we'll call environmental service technicians. So they're like, their break room is downstairs. Why are they in our break room? Yeah, they could do like that. I was like one of the only environmental service technicians that was allowed in just about every break room that I went into. I had multiple families in that facility, in the hospital. You could tell them, because a lot of them, like, they did not like EVS because we had a bad reputation of people stealing their lunches. So we already had strikes against us. So it ain't matter if he was. So something had to let them accept me being in there, and a lot of it had to do with attraction. Because first it started with the CNAs of the floor. Like I told you guys earlier, the CNAs, they'll be cool with you, but that's like their nurses. That's like, you remember I told you about the cool subordinates that they have. That's who they look to to keep their ear to the streets. That's how they keep their ear to the streets, and then that's how that's who they trust. That's like their trusted people, because they work with them for 12 hours a day. That's half a whole day. They damn near live there. That's their trusted subordinate. So they will use them to access you. So they will bring you to the boss lady. That's gonna bring you to the boss lady, or whatever. Different bosses or whatever. I'm gonna tell you that now. It's usually like a chain of command when it comes to that kind of stuff, guys. And I know I'm rambling on, but I know you guys like my lengthier videos, but I really wanted to break this down because a lot of guys don't really know how this actually goes, and probably think it's a whole bunch of bull, and don't really know how to go about this. But to be honest, it's really simpler than you think. It's simpler than you think. A lot of it just have to do with just being discreet and dealing with that. And so, like I said, dealing with higher ups at work, you're going to have your haters, but you're going to have a lot of them that look out for you. I had Karens that didn't like me at first. Used to clock me in before I came in. This is when I was running late, all kind of stuff. Ones that didn't like me at first. So, guys, I'm telling you, when you dealing with higher ups as a handsome select man, bro, you're going to have your pros and your cons. It is what it is. But you got to learn how to have your discernment, see what it is. Because remember, a lot of our experiences are very different from the average man, and a lot of people don't understand that. Very, 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 very different. And hopefully I was able to break this down pretty good for you guys. You understand how it is. But anyway, it's your boy Noto coming to you with another video, coming to you with another podcast, man. If you're enjoying the content, go ahead and click that like button. Go ahead and comment, go ahead and subscribe. Click that notification bell so you can be notified whenever I drop a video. And remember, guys, anybody can improve themselves if they're willing to work at it. I'm out.